Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now. Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 Reunion Part 3. Let's get right into it.
Who do you think is most afraid of her in this group?
And there are a lot of women. You don't want to run crossways with this one.
All right. Are you okay?
Oh, God. Are you okay?
Can we call somebody, please?
Okay, you guys, so it is the conclusion to the Season 13 reunion. So let's get started. They start this part. Andy had brought up that Teddy insinuated that Sutton had a drinking problem. And Sutton says to Kyle that you have been relentlessly mean to me all season. And Kyle asks, when? So Sutton says, well, as Denise would say, watch the show. Kyle then says that anything that she ever said about Sutton was after the fact of Sutton questioning her about her marriage. Andy asks, where do y'all go from here, you two? And they both agree that they miss each other's friendship and that this is something they can totally fix. It's not that bad. They can totally recover. Andy says, why don't y'all hug it out? And they do, so that was nice. At least they solved their issue. Andy then announces that Kathy Hilton is arriving. They're just sitting there waiting for her. Kyle said she was happy that she hasn't cried so far, and Andy says, you're about to. So then Kathy walks on out. Andy said, the Grand Dame of Beverly Hills, and no, it's not Lisa Vanderpump. I don't understand what is all this shade towards Lisa Vanderpump and Beverly Hills this season, but Kathy walks out. Her and Kyle are getting along. Looks like Kathy forgave her yet again. So Kathy says that she doesn't watch the entire episodes, but she does watch all the clips, so she pretty much knows everything that's going on. So Kathy wasn't on this season at all, but she was talked about. So they show the scenes in which Kyle talked about her and the aftermath of their falling out, or anytime that the other ladies brought Kathy up. For example, Sutton and Erika. So after seeing that, Andy asked Erika, so Erika, you said that a lot of people were afraid of Kathy. Who do you think is scared of her here? And Erika says, listen, she is Beverly Hills. You don't want to mess around with this one. Kathy was just laughing. She found it hilarious. Then suddenly we hear, woo, 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 and then people are turning around, and it was Sutton. Annemarie quickly gets up, and so does Garcelle and everybody else to see what's going on. They had some medics come on over. Sutton says, I just got a little scared. So they're checking her blood pressure and just checking up on her and everything. This was so messed up, but kind of hilarious also. As Sutton was like basically passing out, Erika and Kathy are talking about how their holidays went. Oh my gosh. But Sutton calms down. Garcelle and Annemarie take her to her trailer. Garcelle stays with her. Here's the interesting part. As she's being taken away, Kathy turns to Kyle and says, I was about to go in on her. That's a really smart way to get out of it. Wow, that's crazy. And that was definitely a theory that was going around when this happened. That people were saying that Sutton was scared of Kathy, and so she pulled this little stunt. But anyway, the show must go on. Sutton and Garcelle leave to the hospital, and they continue again. Andy finishes his question to Erika, which is, who does she think is scared of Kathy? And again, she says Kathy is, basically a phone call away from doing whatever she wants. Although I will say Erika seemed a little bit more docile than she was last year with her buddy Lisa Rinna next to her right. But again, Kathy and Kyle are together since last reunion. So then Andy brings up one of the biggest issues that Kathy and Kyle had before, which is when Mauricio left working for Mr. Hilton and created the agency. So Kathy tells us that when Mauricio left, Rick told him, good luck. It's tough out there. The doors will always be open. All he asked was for him not to poach his staff nor his agents. Andy asks, did he? And Kathy says, yeah, he did, and that caused problems. Kyle just says, well, I don't want to talk about business. Andy then gets a message that Sutton and Garcelle are going to the hospital, and Garcelle is going with her. So Andy gets their phones, which were still on the couch, and apparently Sutton had brought some of Merce's ashes. Sutton has lied about these ashes. That's a whole thing we could talk about, but I don't understand what's going on with those ashes. So then they talk about Kyle and Kathy's reconciliation. And it's funny because they actually reconciled in Aspen. That's kind of ironic. So Kathy got emotional because they say that it actually happened in a very organic and natural way. Kyle and Kathy say that they need each other and they know that their mom would be happy. It is then time to talk about Mauricio and Kyle a little bit more in detail. So they see the scenes that we saw this season, the dissolution of their marriage and her newfound friendship with Morgan. They also made the season package a little bit emotional by throwing some old happy times that they've had on the show. So the question is, what happened? Kyle says that there has always been different issues that have kind of just like snowballed, but of course there was something that made her completely lose her trust in him, which she mentioned in the last episode. She says that she really has tried to keep her family together, but she reached a breaking point. Andy mentions that throughout her 13 years on the show, there's always been tabloids and rumors of him cheating, and she says, yeah, he would deny it, although she does say that it would make her feel insecure and lose a little trust in him, little by little as these stories will be out there. Andy says, y'all clearly were having problems finding time to spend with each other, but it blew my mind that he joined Dancing with the Stars. Kyle says, had they been in a good place, she would have probably never been okay with it because she would have gotten jealous. Andy asks how does she feel seeing pictures of him and Emma, his dancing partner, holding hands. And she says that, yeah, she didn't like it. And Dorit says that she didn't like it either. But Kyle says they are separated, so technically he could do whatever he wants. But she gets weirded out seeing him and basically be a whore with all these different women. There was also a question asking, why doesn't Kyle just spit out the reason that they separated? And Kyle's response is because it's none of their effing business. Well, damn. Has there been any conversation about them moving out? Andy asks, and she says, now there is. At this point there is, and he would be the one who would move. And Andy asks, y'all have been separated for a while. Have y'all talked about divorce? And Kyle says that it's hard for them to use that word, and Kathy says that she just wants Kyle to be happy in whatever way that looks. Then they talk about Morgan Wade. So Kyle claims that Morgan never knew the recognition that she would get from being on the show. She had never watched the show, and she was flabbergasted by the scrutiny. A lot of people did noticed that they were very flirtatious on the scenes together. That's how it came across. And Andy asked the group if anyone thought Kyle and Morgan were a thing. And Crystal says, yeah, I did. The pictures, the tabloids, she thought they were definitely together. Dorit says that there was a lot of Instagram pictures that it basically looked like they were girlfriends. Annemarie had previously made a comment in the after show that Morgan had made Kyle feel loved, and Annemarie goes further and she says that, it's great to have a friendship with someone who makes you feel good. Andy, though, says that Garcelle and Sutton had a lot to say about this topic on the after show, but they're not here, which is pretty convenient. Kyle then says Morgan wasn't with her for fame because she's already a critically acclaimed musician. I was like, well, which one of us had heard of Morgan way before this? Not me. Crystal asked Kyle about the music video where her and Morgan were like kissing and touching and got almost naked. Kyle says, oh, well, that was before I was separated and I was just curious. She started blushing and Kathy says, don't be embarrassed. And Andy says, okay, so is there anything going on between the two of you? And Kyle just says, no. When asked if she has feelings for her, she says, I love her. She's my friend. Kathy says Morgan is funny and refreshing and very talented. And Andy keeps asking Kyle, could she see herself with Morgan? And Kyle was just like, I don't know. I'm evolving. I don't know. So then it is time to conclude. Annemarie says that happiness and health are the most important things. She's realized this now. Crystal says that she doesn't want to be afraid of speaking up because now she knows her voice matters. Erika says that she's okay. She's proud of herself and where she is now as compared to the last 2 years. Kathy says she feels good and is happy to be here with Kyle. And she now actually has some respect for the sisterhood that the ladies have on the show. Dorit says that she needs to be a little bit less naive with people who she might not be friends with. And Andy did yawn as she was saying that and she got mad. Finally, Kyle says that she might have lost her happily ever after or what she thought was, but she will always have a happily ever after no matter what. So that was it. They concluded the season 13 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Pretty boring third part. I don't think it was necessary. I think they could have just made it into 2 parts. Because this part, we really didn't get anything new. It's the same thing Kyle has been saying all along. Oh, we had issues. Oh, I miss him. So there really wasn't any there. I do think that perhaps had Garcelle been there, it would have been a little bit more interesting. But I will say this, you guys. I 100% think that Sutton pulled a little stunt. I don't think it was believable. Even if she had a little bit of high blood pressure, she was fine. There was no need for them to rush her to the hospital. That's my opinion. I think she didn't want it with Kathy, and Kathy told us she was about to go in on her. So I think, listen, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. But you guys, that's a wrap for season 13. Next season, what do y'all think it should look like? I personally think we should get rid of Crystal. I'm sorry. Dorit should be demoted as a friend. Bring back the other ladies and then maybe add 1 or 2 more girls. And I think that would be an interesting season. But y'all let me know, what would your perfect cast look like? What did you think about this reunion? Do you agree with what I think about Sutton? And what did y'all think overall? And once again, I just want to thank y'all for joining me this long season of Beverly Hills. It's been fun to talk about it. I'm going to miss it, but y'all, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.